How's it going, gamer? You got hands here. And today in Dauntless, we're going over an Iceborne build for Torgadoro's weapons. That's right, all of his weapons. This build will work for each and every one of them. I even have another variation build that doesn't have Berserker in case you don't want it. But hey, this build is the first one and it is awesome and it is strong, as you can see. I sub to this Pangar easily. He's just laying on the floor the whole time, baby. This build features a lot of damage. We got Rage, we have Overpower, we have Rage Hunter, we have Berserker, we have Zeal and Drastic's Lantern. I mean, just hearing that, you can hear the damage and you can see the damage, baby. This is nice. So if you like this video and you want to see more, gamer, please don't hesitate to hit that subscribe button and click on that bell for notifications. And don't forget to join us in Discord if you haven't already. So turn on your system, grab your Torg weapon, and let's get ready. We're about to get in this video right now. Man, that was so dope-tastic. Wouldn't you agree? This build is awesome. And like I said, not only can it be used with any Torgadoro weapons, I do have an alternative in case you don't want to use Berserker because of the lack of health or whatever your opinion is on it. So therefore, let's hop into this build. Remember, any weapon that's Torgadoro's, throw it in there. And then you're going to want to throw an Overpower cell and a Wild Frenzy cell in there. For the special and the mod for the strikers, I like Titan's Crash Plate and Psychonic's Strike Plate. But remember, if you're using any of his other weapons, go ahead and choose your best, most favorite choices. But the thing you got to do is you're going to want to bond it to Inferno Flames. That gives it an Overpower, and it gives it the 8th hit in a row, deals 225 damage and major blaze damage, which is really significant. For the headpiece, we're using Shroud's Head that has a Rage cell, and we're going to put a Discipline cell in there. And for the chest piece, we're using Boreas's Resolve that has a Rage, and we're going to put an Iceborne cell in there. And then for the hands, that's Nasher's Grips that has a Rage Hunter, and we're going to put another Rage Hunter cell in that one. And for the feet, we're using Boreas's March, which has an Iceborne cell, and we're going to put a Berserker cell. Remember, if you don't want Berserker, I'm going to show you in the next build on what your other options are. But for this build, we'll be using Berserker because it is increasing our damage even further for a really solid, good build. And then for the Lantern, I'm using Drastic's Eye for that increased damage and Zeal to boost that damage like crazy. So this is really good Lantern combination with Zeal if you want more damage. But if you're using different weapons, like I mentioned, because this build is for all of his weapons, you can choose Embermane's Rapture for a boost of attack speed, or Shriek's Zeal for some attack speed and mobility boost, which Shriek's Zeal is one of my favorite lanterns. So if you're going to use those lanterns, don't use Zeal unless it's Embermane's, but if you're using Shrikes, maybe use something like Etheric Attunement or Conduit, or more importantly, if you're using like Chain Blades or a Sword, I would use Energized Cell. But remember, this lantern setup, that's all you, and you'll adapt it to what your playstyle is. And for the tonics, if you need a little bit of help, you're doing some in-game stuff, or you're in trials, definitely use Frenzy, Blitz, and Assault tonic. Those are dope-tastic, and they really help out. So all in all, what we got going on in this build, gamer, is we have a +6 Iceborne. We know what that is. That's why we're all here. It's amazing. It's awesome. And then next we have Overpower, that's 60% damage versus staggered behemoths. And then Rage, we have a 25% damage that lasts all the time because we're utilizing the Discipline cell. And then Rage Hunter, that's 40% damage versus enraged behemoths. And then Berserker, that's a 20% damage stack if you can maintain doing damage. Yes, it decreases your health, but we are using Iceborne. If you can keep doing damage, you will heal yourself. And this build does some significant damage, as you did see. Discipline, that is what's knocking us at half health so we can properly utilize Rage to have a consistent damage buff, and Wild Frenzy to boost our attack speed in a consistent manner. And then here's our Wild Frenzy, that's a 12.5% increased attack speed all the time because we're using Discipline. And then Zeal, we talked about that when we talked about the lanterns. I'm using Drastic's Eye for more damage, so therefore I'm using Zeal to boost that lantern effectiveness. You can also use Zeal with Embermane's Rapture, but if you use Shrike's Lantern, use something else. Alright, gamer, for the second build that I have for you, it has less damage but more attack speed, and therefore it doesn't have Berserker in case you don't want it, or in case you don't like to use it because of the lack of health, because it is a super low health build, but this build does more damage. So the second build to take away Berserker is all you have to do is put in a Wild Frenzy cell and an Iceborne cell in your hammer. And for the chest piece, you switch it out to Shroud's chest piece, and you're going to put an Overpower cell in there. And then for the feet, you're going to put a Wild Frenzy cell in there. So what that gives you is pretty much the same build we have for the damage specs, but without Berserker, but it knocks you up to a +6 Wild Frenzy. And then therefore you still have Discipline and Zeal. So this build, yes, has a little bit less damage, but way more attack speed. So maybe this build will be better for a hammer or something like the axe that needs more attack speed. But remember, this is entirely up to you. I do suggest try practicing with the first build because it does some crazy damage. I hope y'all have fun with these builds like I do, and this is staying in my slot just like the last video that I made because I am loving these Iceborne builds. Peace out, guys. Alright gamer, that's all I got for you today. Man, I really hope you enjoy this build and I hope you use it because it is amazing. Remember, if you have any comments or suggestions, you can always hit me up in the comments section and we can start a little chat. This is Hans signing out. Peace, y'all.